to Al Ortolani Field for Game 4 of this first day of the 2019 MIAA Baseball Championship here in Pittsburg, Kansas, between the number 5 Emporia State Hornets and the number 4 seed Pittsburg State Gorillas. Hello, everybody. I'm Shelby White. 3 phenomenal games in the books. This fourth one looks to be no different, as these two teams were fighting for the number 4 seed up until the final weekend. And it took a sweep by the Gorillas to gain that spot. Pitching for the Gorillas on the hill is Alex Achterman, senior, 6-5 record, a 3.50 ERA. He's taking on Brian Grove, the second baseman for the Emporia State Hornets. And quickly, Achterman is ahead in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 on the way. Set up outside is the catcher Pinkett for the Gorillas, and trying to get it, but the two-seam running away from him will score it out of the glove and even things, run it to 2 balls and 1 strike in the favor of Grove. Following Grove, it'll be Cooper Minnick, the center fielder, and Aaron Dees, the right fielder, running up to try and do a drag bunt. And coming up empty is Grove, so now we're all square at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Day began at 9 a.m. with the Central Oklahoma Broncos defeating the Lindenwood Lions by a score of 3-0. 2-2 outside, count now full, 3-2. Second game saw the number 2 seed Missouri Southern State University Lions defeat the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats by a score of 4-0. And the game that concluded immediately prior to this one, the number 1 seed in 2019 MIAA regular season champion Central Missouri Mules came from behind to win 5-4 over the Missouri Western State University Griffins. Leadoff walk drawn by Grove. So as far as the bracket goes, tomorrow it's Central Oklahoma versus Missouri Southern at 4 p.m. The 9 a.m. game sees Lindenwood take on Northwest Missouri. First pitch to Minnick is fouled out of play. Central Missouri will play at 7:30 tomorrow. They'll take on the winner of this matchup between the Hornets and the Gorillas. Meanwhile, the loser of this game will take on Missouri Western, at 12:30. Quick toss over there to keep Grove close by Achterman, and not much of a lead over there, and so it's safe. Another throw over, and Achterman isn't even coming set before he throws over there right now. Trying to get the toss over as soon as possible in order to prevent any sort of sizable lead by Grove. The 0-1, just a bit low, ball 1. Catcher Pinkett giving it a real long hold there for the umpire, and no dice. Again, another throw over without even really coming set, and Achterman is very much concerned with Grove over there. The 1-1 is fouled out of play. So now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cloudy, and the wind has finally died down here at Al Ortolani Field. Been blowing almost non-stop since the first game this morning. Clouds have not gone away. Ground ball to short, picked up by Cushman, and Cushman. He'll go to second for the short out. They try to turn the double play, but a little late on the turn is Reesner, and so it's a fielder's choice. Hit into by Minnick, allowing him to get to first, but being cut down. 6-4 is Grove for the first out of the inning. I'll bring up the right fielder, Aaron Dees, for the Hornets, left-hand hitter. Ball in the dirt low. And if you're going to see a steal here in the early goings to try and get a jump start, now would be the time to do it. Dees is the number 3 hitter, so he can swing the stick well. However, being a left-handed hitter, it'll cut off the view of the catcher, Pinkett. The 1-0 is fouled down the left field line. Running over to give it a look, yes, the third baseman, Oliver, but it will fall out of play. So that makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner over there after the fielder's choice, Minnick. He is held close by Herrenbrook. Achterman will come set, check the runner over both shoulders, going with the back and then the front, and comes right over the top and misses low. Ball 2. Defensively for the Gorillas, it's Achterman and Pinkett, the battery. Then first to third, you have Herrenbrook, Riesener, Cushman, and Oliver. Another throw over, and standing up is Minnick. In the outfield from left to right, it's Allen, Almir, and Burgess. 2 balls and 1 strike here in this opening frame, and ball high. Achterman fighting his control a little bit here. Trying to get into the bottom of the first with a scoreless frame. 3-1, grounded in the hole in between first and second. Going to be picked up by the right fielder, Burgess, and he tries to make a strong throw to third, but it'll be cut off by Cushman. So there are runners at the corners now with 1 out. Cushman, after holding the ball, will ask for time and be granted it. A golden opportunity here in the opening goings for the Hornets. Here's another look at it. Just a beautiful stroke. Went right underneath the glove of Herrenbrook. Tried to backhand it, and that's a tough play for a right-handed first baseman because you're holding the runner on and you have to step over yourself in order to get into fielding position. And you have to really fight in order to make sure you can get into a square setup with your shoulders toward home in order to get the backhanded play done easily. And not quite able to do it there was Herrenbrook. Batter now is the center fielder, Connor Hurst. They watch a strike go by. And once more, a check and throw over. Diving back in is Dees. And that's about what you want to do right now if you're Achterman, as you don't want to let the runner at first get a free run towards second. Now, he pulls the string on Hurst, strike 2. Came up with a change up, and Hurst tried to keep his weight back, but ended up shifting onto the front foot and coming up empty. Pinkett will look into the dugout and get the sign. And the 0-2 is fouled over the dugout along the first base line. Gorillas coming in on a bit of a hot streak. Mid-season, I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to be one of the top 8 teams, but they have won 15 of their last 17. The 0-2 is a curveball, bounces a little ways away from the catcher Pinkett, but he did a great job dropping to his knees and blocking it, opening up his shoulders to use all of his chest protector and trying to smother it in front of him. So now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners are at the corners. The 1-2, that's sent into left field. It's going to take a couple hops to Allen. Coming in to score easily from third is Minnick, and being held up at second is Dees. And just like that, the Hornets have drawn first blood. A couple of stingers into the outfield. They're up 1-0 here. Just good fundamental base hitting right there by Hurst. He had 2 strikes on him, but he didn't try to do too much. Wanted a pitch that he could handle over the heart of the plate. He got it and it lined it into left. Now Now we have a ground ball rolled over down the first base line for Tucker Perkins, the designated hitter. And down there in the bullpen for the Hornets is their starting pitcher, Tanner Carnes. Just trying to keep himself loose and warm on this frigid night. The 0-1 bounces and it pops up, almost takes off the mask of Pinkett, as Pinkett's using the old school two-piece style mask. Kind of grabbed the right side of the metal frame and sent it askew, but hitting the frame probably helped out the Gorillas as it kept it right at the feet of Pinkett. Shortstop Cushman trying to keep the runner close at second and D's. The 1-1 fouled out of play. Down the line and left. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. A very laborious inning to start this game for Alex Achterman. Seen 5 batters thus far, has only recorded 1 out. But everyone who's got to the plate thus far has reached. The sole out was by a fielder's choice. The 1-2, that one soared into left field, going over to give it a look and making the catch in fair territory is Allen. And he's able to use the momentum he having horizontally into vertical movement, essentially. Slinging it into third and keeping the runners at first and second. That's the first batter retired out of the box. Nice running catch there, as you saw again by Allen. He kept his eye on the ball the entire time, followed it, basically put his nose under his glove to ensure that he got the out. He'll now bring up Paul Clausen, the third baseman. Achterman dealing in foul ball off the chest protector of Pinkett. No balls and 1 strike. It's 1-0. Emporia stayed on top through not even a full half inning in this opening frame. A couple of check of the runner at second and D's by Achterman. And he'll miss below the knees, ball 1. Some seriously good baseball played today at Al Ortolani Field. The first game saw an absolute gem spun by Central Oklahoma pitcher Dylan Hall. Win a complete game 1-hit shutout. He ended the game with 105 pitches. Only had 2 base runners, and those were in the first inning. After he ended the first, he retired the next 24 batters in a row to close out the complete game. The 2-1 from Achterman, low, flipping his glove over to make sure that he caught it, was Pinkett. Clausen is the 6th hitter in this lineup for the Hornets. On decks is the first baseman, Alex Hayner, should he see the plate. The 3-1, that's sent into the air in right. Drifting over and under it for the catch is Burgess, and that will retire the side, but not before the Hornets strike first, scoring first. They scored 1 run on 2 hits. At the end of half an inning, it's Emporia State 1, Pittsburgh State coming up back after this with the MIAA Baseball Tournament here on the MIAA Network.
We've got our heads in the game,
our minds in the classroom,
our hands in the community,
and our feet ready for the world.
We're a part of the NCAA Division II experience.
Using our skills
at our universities and in our communities. I chose the MIAA.
I chose the MIAA.
MIAA, the spirit of our communities.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
And welcome back to Al Ortolani Field. Game 4 of Day 1 of the 2019 MIAA Baseball Championship. Currently through half an inning, Emporia State Hornets lead the Pittsburgh State Gorillas by a score of 1-0. Tanner Carnes, pitcher for the Hornets, right-hander, going through his final wind-ups, warm-ups, taking on a very solid Pittsburgh State Gorilla team. First batter he'll face will be the center fielder, Blaine Ohlmeyer. Following that will be Tyler Cushman, the shortstop. And then uniquely, Alex Achterman, the pitcher for the Gorillas. I'll say that. We'll get into it a little bit. But thus far, every other team has sent up a designated hitter in place of their pitchers. But first things first, it's the left-handed hitting Blaine Ohlmeyer. Hitting .240 on the year, and very quick herky-jerky motion from Carnes, working out of the windup. A 1-0 high, 2-0. And boy, this home plate umpire strike zone is about the size of a postage stamp, it feels like, much akin to the home plate umpire in the first game. But he's been consistent, and he's kept it at both sides. And it's not above, it's not below the numerals on the front of your jersey and above your knees. You can guarantee it's a ball. The 2-1 rolled over, foul, right side of first by Ohlmeyer. So now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 breaking ball, and that ended up in the zone. A lot of fans wanted it to be a strike, but it broke around the plate. Good call by the umpire, running the count full. The 3-2 check swing held off by Ohlmeyer, and he will draw a leadoff walk. So now Tyson Cushman will step up. Back-to-back lefties to start off the Gorilla batting order. Early in the game doesn't mean a whole lot, but later when you start getting into bullpens, when you see traditions like this where you have multiple hitters of the same batted hand orientation, it makes it easy for you to pick and choose who you're going to warm up in your bullpen. Ball one and a pickoff throw as Ohlmeyer diving back in. Cushman making the transition to shortstop this year after last year being a third baseman for the Gorillas. Last year and the year prior, Cushman was a defensive replacement at third, typically for Pittsburgh State, but this year now worked his way up and got the starting gig. Taking off and running is Ohlmeyer. They're going to do a hit and run, and much too early was Cushman, and he sends it bounding toward the Emporia State dugout, so retreating to first is Ohlmeyer. Everyone who is not in the game bundled up in hoodies and sweaters, whatever they can find to keep themselves warm on this frigid May evening. Uncharacteristically cool May day. 2 balls and 1 strike as the curveball missed outside. Another throw over to first. A lot of the teams in the MIAA love to run. Not necessarily straight steals, but you'll see hit and runs, bunt and runs, run and bunts, run and hits. And there is a difference between a hit and run and a bunt and run. And now they're going to let it drop, and they're going to get the lead out at second. That's a 5-6 fielder's choice, retiring Ohlmeyer at second base. And that's a smart decision there as you trade a much faster runner at Ohlmeyer for someone who's a little more manageable defensively on the base pads in Cushman. And it gives you a chance for a possible double play as the pitcher Alex Achterman will dig in. Achterman hitting for himself, as I said, rather unique amongst this tournament. The other 7 teams have had designated hitters for their pitchers, but Achterman hitting just a tick under 300. There's a bunt attempt, and you can see right there they lofted up for it, and then they just wait, pick it up on a hop, throw to second. Trade one runner for another. Count 1-0-1 on Achterman. As the day has gone on, you've seen more and more fielders wear longer sleeves underneath their jerseys, trying to keep themselves warm. Back pick from the catcher, and diving back in is Cushman, getting there safely. Count is 1-2 strikes on the pitcher Alex Achterman. Had a bit of a rough going in the top half of the first. 1-2 will be rolled over toward first. First baseman Peener has it, and he throws it over to the shortstop covering in Norland. They try to go for the 3-6-3 double play, but nothing there. Again, they'll cut down the lead runner in Cushman. That's 3-6 fielder's choice. Strong throw over there, but then Norland didn't have much of a chance to get the throw back, as he had to have his foot standing on the bag, didn't have any momentum taking him toward first. They take that back. They return to a 3-6-1 double play. As covering the base there at the end was the pitcher Carnes. So now the batter is the third baseman John Oliver. He launches a strike, nab the inside corner, front door breaking ball there. Able to just hit the inside corner of the plate. Oh, looking at his catcher by Carnes. The 0-1 sent soaring into right center field, and it will be picked up by the right fielder Dees, and that retires the Gorillas in the bottom of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors were committed. So at the end of one full inning, it's Emporia State 1, Pittsburgh State 0. Back after this here on the MIAA Network.
To become a fan of the MIAA, just like us.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
It's the top of the second, and the Emporia State Hornets are leading the Pittsburgh State Gorillas by a score of 1-0.
Leading off for the Hornets, the first baseman.
Looking to improve upon his rather dismal first inning is Alex Achterman for the Gorillas. He allowed the first 4 Hornets to reach base. One of them scored. He was eventually able to work out of the 2 runners on, 1 out jam with fly balls to left and to right. But Achterman would prefer not to do that again if possible. First batter he is going to face, Alex Painter, the first baseman for the Hornets. And very quickly, 2 pitches thrown, and we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Always a bit of a heated rivalry between Emporia State and Pittsburgh State in any athletics. Even more so now, as prior to this season, the Gorillas hired away Bob Fornelli from the Hornets, where Fornelli had been since the 2006 season. A 1-2 bouncing in front of home, 2-2. Fornelli started his coaching career on the western edge of Kansas at Fort Hays State University and has steadily made his way back east with stops at his alma mater at Emporia, and now here at Pittsburgh State, hanging the K backwards on Painter is Achterman with the backdoor curveball there and locked up the knees. First strikeout of the game for Achterman. Brings out the shortstop Josh Norland. Norland back there. Here's another look at that backdoor curveball, and you could just see how it locked up the knees of Painter. Norland will take a ball outside. Score still 1-0 Emporia, but we're only 1 out into the top of the second. There's a shot right back through the pitcher's box. Ducking to save his life is Achterman. Man, if he is any slower with his reaction, that ball would smash him square in the jaw, and we could have a serious injury on our hands. Thankfully, his reflexes were quick enough for him to avoid it. And now Norland is at first with 1 out, and the number 9 hitter, Mitch Sloan, is up. Sloan, one of the few Hornets to be wearing short sleeves tonight. Here's another look at that comebacker, and whew, boy howdy. Achterman threw his glove up in an attempt to defend himself, but even then, that was well late. Throw over to first. Diving back in safely is Norland. After this, it'll go back to the top of the order, and Brian Grove. Well, the Pittsburgh State is looking for a ground ball double play to get out of this second inning. The 1-0. That's a 2-seamer that dove well down and in. Ball 2. Now calling time to give his pitcher a chance to catch his breath. He'll be the pitching coach for the Gorillas. Also coming in the rest of the Gorilla infield to get on the same page as to what pitch will be called. No action down in the Gorilla bullpen, as it is just the second inning. But you can't really play for tomorrow, even though this is a double elimination tournament. Getting that first loss early is very difficult to come back from. Need to do all you can to get the wins that you have. Thus far, the higher seeded teams are all undefeated. Central Oklahoma, the number 3 seed, Missouri Southern, the number 2 seed, and of course Central Missouri, the top seed in this tournament, having won the regular season championship. 2-0 the count on Sloan. The pitch swung on and missed. Sloan took a mighty hack and came up empty. Setting up behind the plate, conferring with his pitch card is the catcher, Grayson Pinkett. Now he'll flash the sign to Achterman on the circle. Achterman, a couple checks of the runner, and now he'll throw over, and getting back standing up, although a lot closer than probably needed to be, was Norland. And the pace that Achterman is pitching is very difficult for the defense. One, it's a rather slow, methodical pace, so in general, it's going to be having you lulled to sleep just a bit. But when you have a cold night like this, when the best thing for you to do is to keep moving, keep that blood flow going so you can move easier, and you got someone out there who is taking their sweet time, it makes it very difficult. 2-2 now the count. on Sloan. Once more, a couple checks of the runners by Ackerman. Now he'll use a bit of a modified slide step. Once more, bringing that two-seamer in, missing inside. Count once more full. It's the second full count. Has been reached by an Emporia State Hornet against Ackerman. The 3-2 swung on and missed. Pulling his head, trying to rip that ball right down the left field line was Sloan, and all he has to show for it is possibly a slight pain in his back. So that'll make you 2 outs and a runner on first. Back to the top of the order, and Brian Grove. Grove drew a walk in his first at-bat. He was the first of 4 Hornet batters to reach base consecutively, although Grove was retired on a 6-4 fielder's choice. He's going to spoil the first pitch he sees down along the line and left. Take a look again at the strikeout thrown, and you can see Pinkett pumping his fist, being happy. His pitcher Ackerman has seemed to settle down a bit. Once more, throw over to first. Pitchers and first basemen developing nice repertoire amongst all teams in all games today. Cushman will creep towards second in his shortstop position. 0-1 missing, low and away. Ball 2. That two-seamer, excuse me, ball 1. That two-seamer's got some nice diving action on it. But the problem with it right now is he's not throwing it close enough to the plate to get the Hornet batters to be enticed to swing at it. Faking the run over at first was the runner Norland. Ground ball to second, where it is fielded by Reesner, and Reesner will sling it over to Herrenbrook for the 3rd out of the inning just before Grove hits the bag. So through 3 halves of an inning, it's the Hornets 1, the Gorillas 0. Back after this with the bottom of the second here on the MIAA Network.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal,
It's the bottom of the second, and still Emporia State leads the Pittsburgh State Gorillas by the score of 1-0. Ty Herrenbrook, the first baseman, is set to start things for the Gorillas here in the bottom of the second, looking to get a little bit of something started. After the Gorillas were retired in the first without a hit. First pitch from Carnes to Herrenbrook. Well, missed the zone, ball 1. The 1-0 swung on, fouled right back into the netting. Following Herrenbrook, it'll be the catcher Grayson Pinkett and the right fielder Chaz Burgess. The 1-1 on the way, just a bit inside as it looked to be belt high, but the umpire called it a ball, so it's now 2-1. Inside 3-1. Pitching pace of Carnes much more preferable if you're a defender than that of Achterman at this point. Although Carnes' motion very quick and herky-jerky, lots of things going on, and if any single one of them is off, it completely affects how he will throw the ball and where it will end up. So now what he has to do is make sure that everything is in motion. Foul ball running down the fence to the left field corner. They'll send a bench player to get it. The 3-2 is a ball outside, and Herrenbrook will draw the leadoff walk, much like Almere drew a leadoff walk in the bottom of the first. Now the Gorillas are going to try and capitalize on this, even though they were unable to in the first inning. That brings up Grayson Pinkett, the catcher, who's hitting .289 on the year. A very lithe catcher, and he'll turn in to try and take a hit by pitch on that curveball. Looking down to his coach at third and also smiling just a bit as he could hear the good-natured ribbing of his teammates to wear it. Pickoff throw over to first. Diving back in safely is Herrenbrook. You always hear players from the bench scream "wear it" to whoever's on base or at the plate in order to have some fun. Ball hit deep into center field, drifting over to his left and grabbing it is Hurst for out number 1.
Number 6, Chaz Burgess.
So that'll be Chaz Burgess. There's take another look at it. Immediately knowing it was inside was Hurst. He took one step back, which is one thing a coach will tell you to do. You take a step back, give yourself a little bit of room to properly read the ball, figure out where it's going to be, and then go after it. Another pickoff throw over to Herrenbrook, and he's back in safely. And then once Hurst knew where it was, he was able to readjust and get in there. First pitch is just outside. Ball 1. Left-handed hitting dominant lineup for the Gorillas. Works very well when you're facing a right-handed pitcher like Carnes as it flattens out the breaking balls that he has. The 1-0 through the hole between first and second into right field, only moving up 90 feet, will be Herrenbrook. But that puts 2 on with 1 out. And the Gorillas have a little bit of something cooking at the moment.
Number 1, Clint Allen.
That was a great bit of base hitting right there. Just yanked it to the right side of the field, just beyond where the first baseman Penner could get to it. So now left fielder Clint Allen is up. Even with the runner at first is the first baseman Penner. Now he takes a step in front of him to avoid an obstruction call. Tight breaking ball will end up right down the middle of the plate, not what Allen wanted, so he lays it off and nods his head and agreeing that it was indeed a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Carnes will come set, check the runner at second, kick his leg and deal, come right back with that breaking ball this time. He starts it in the middle of the plate and ends up getting it to nab the outside corner. 2 pitches, 2 strikes. Allen not quite so agreeable to that last call, thinking it might have been a little outside, but it was called in. The 0-2. Swung on and missed. Not fielded cleanly by the catcher Minnick, but it doesn't matter. As with first base occupied with less than 2 outs, the batter is automatically out. So now there are 2 on and 2 out here in the bottom of the second. Quinn Reesner, the second baseman's up, and take another look at that breaking ball. Started at about his mid-thigh, ended up below the knees. Catcher Minnick running through all of the signs. And once more, they'll go with the breaking ball. This one's staying up to Reesner, not dropping nearly enough. And so it will be a ball. It's always interesting to see how catchers run through it. Now there's a throw down to first. It's drifting off a little bit too much for the liking The catcher Minnick was Burgess, and a poor decision on Burgess's part as he spiked the throw. Then it bounced away from the first baseman Penner, and scampering on down to third is Ty Herrenbrook, and here's another look at it. You can see they're trying it. It seemed like a set play now that I look at it a second time. And Penner just moved his glove much too quick, and so he didn't even knock it down. It hit him right square in the chest and ricocheted out of play. That's an error on Penner there. Puts runners at the corners, 2 balls, no strikes on Reesner with 2 outs, and Carnes, not happy with the pitch call, will step off and ask his catcher to run through it again. Trying to find something a little bit more to his liking. The 2-0. That one's at the knees. Strike 1. That's a perfect spot for that tight breaking ball there. Especially the one that doesn't have a whole lot of vertical movement. Try and find the very bottom of the strike zone and just pound it in order to make sure it can't be done anything with but be put into the ground. And now they're going to try and move it just a little bit lower, and they'll come up empty. That'll run the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Middle infield, pinching close to second. Little odd, considering the situation, as there's no chance for a double play. Corners are very close to their bags, and now ball 4 high, a straight fastball that was nowhere near the zone. That will load them up for Blaine Olmire in the top of the Gorilla order.
Blaine Olmire.
Olmire drew a walk in the first, and then he was cut down on a failed bunt attempt that bounced right in front of the third baseman Clausen. He let it drop, I should say, and then he threw it down to second where the shortstop Norland was covering. First pitch of this at-bat is a strike. Bases are loaded, and there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And a big swing and a miss by Olmire. He wanted to put that off the side of the wall by the Pitt State softball training facility beyond right center field. And all he had was a case of whiplash. The 0-2, he'll get just enough of it to pull it foul beyond the barriers of the Emporia State dugout. So we will reset and do it again at no balls and 2 strikes. MIAA, a crop of D2 talent. Ball past a couple divers. No, it's cut off by the second baseman and safe. Diving first baseman in Penner did not come up with it. Second baseman Grove dove. He was able to stop it. He threw it to the pitcher Carnes covering. And the entire Emporia State dugout is irate at that call. Here's another angle of it. You can see the great stop by Grove. The throw over to Carnes. Not quite. Couldn't see there. First base umpire was emphatically saying it was safe. And Emporia State's head coach still not happy with it. There was an issue earlier in the game where a coach had his pleasure made known. Here's once more that look at it, and you can't really see there because by the time you're looking at the right foot of the pitcher Carnes, it might have got the backside, but you can't really tell. So now a ball hit deep into right. It's going to bounce in front of the right fielder right fielder D's throw home, not in time. It's a 2 RBI single for Tyler Cushman, and the Gorillas are up 3-1 here in the bottom of the second. Runners are now at first and second.
Now batting the pitcher number 26, Alex.
And here it is. Just a beautiful piece of hitting, stayed back behind it, drove it in. A little bit of a lackadaisical approach by Dees and right. He did try to get all his momentum behind the throw, but with 2 outs and a runner on second, there's very little chance you're going to be able to cut down that guy, even if he's a slow runner. But when you have someone at second base who's as fleet as foot as Burgess, the right fielder, I mean, it's a pretty easy RBI there. 1 ball, no strike on the pitcher, Achterman. Really wanting to help his own cause here. And that's a fastball that misses inside, and Carnes' body language is terrible. And now the Emporia State head coach has been thrown out, I believe, or at least he's come out to argue balls and strikes, which is almost an automatic grounds for an ejection, because you cannot argue balls and strikes. He is hot under the collar. 2 balls and no strikes. He took his helmet off, and he is walking all the way to the end of the dugout, and he has indeed been removed from the game. And you know, it depends on at certain points in the game when you want to do that, because there are times where an ejection is strategic and it definitely gets the team fired up, but this early in the game might be a little too quick to pull that trigger. So now the count is 2 balls and no strikes on Achterman, and he'll take the next pitch, ground it to the second baseman Grove, over to first, and that will retire the Gorillas in the bottom of the second, but not before they score 3 runs and take a 3-1 lead. At the end of 2, it's Pittsburgh State 3, Emporia State 1. Back after this here on the MIAA Network. Top of the third, score now 3-1 after the Pittsburgh State Gorillas scored 3 runs on 3 hits in the bottom of the third inning. They were aided by 1 error. Emporia State's and their head coach ejected for arguing balls and strikes with home plate umpire Ryan Carley. And this was after he argued a play at first with first base umpire Matt Ossenfort. First pitch from Achterman to start off the third is a ball inside, and then it'll come right back, and a check swing from Cooper Minnick. Able to hold off, 2-0 the count. Minnick, the catcher, reached via fielder's choice in the first. Eventually came around to score on the RBI single by Connor Hurst. Score 2-1 the count. Timeout called at home by the catcher Pinkett after he was unable to get onto the same page with his pitcher Achterman. The 2-1 from Achterman. Outside, 3-1. Seth Wheeler, Emporia State baseball head coach, had his night, retired early after having issues with the call at first and then going irate after a ball and strike call. So now Minnick will draw a walk to lead off the third for Emporia State. And sometimes what you want to do as a coach, as I said, is you want to get yourself ejected, as it provides a bit of a spark and some motivation to your team. But this early in the game, with the game still pretty much in doubt, you don't really want to do that. You hamstring yourself, and now you put everything on your assistant coaches. First pitch fouled away by the right fielder, Aaron Dees. Dees hit a single in the first, and he was left stranded after getting to second. Score is still 3-1 here in the third. The winner of this game will take on number 1 seed Central Missouri tomorrow. The 0-1 grounded over to first. Second one back to first, not in time. Herrenbruck had a bit of a lackadaisical looping throw to Cushman over at second. And then Cushman tried to get it back to starting pitcher Achterman at first, but didn't have much of a chance with how little he got on the throw. You can see it again here. Good throw over there to short, and then Cushman made sure that he got the out, and then when he realized there was really no chance of the double play, still tried to get it, but came up empty. Ball hit into shallow right field. Faking like he was going to dive for it was Burgess. Instead, he'll let it bounce and play it off a hop belt high. Now there are runners at first and second, following the single by Connor Hurst, who is 2 for 2.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Tucker Perkins.
Tucker Perkins, a designated hitter, steps in, going old school. No batting gloves, high stirrups, and he's got the turn of the 20th century mustache to go with it and complete the outfit. Runners at first and second, one out. The pitch, just low, ball one. After Perkins, it'll be Paul Clausen, the third baseman for the Hornets. The 1-0 swung on and missed. Nice fluid swing there by Perkins. Not trying to do too much with that hack, but he still came up empty despite the ease he put into it. Runner at second is Deese. The runner at first, Hurst. Lots of speed on the base paths. Cushman kind of creeping in behind Dees at second. Ball in the dirt, blocked by Pinkett. No one going. So the count now 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. Hurst, left-handed batter. A little bit like Rafael Palmero in look and batting stance. Oh, probably not on the juice like Palmero was. The 2-0 at the eyes of Perkins. That's an easy take. 3 balls and 1 strike. Achterman, again, fighting his control. Did so in the first inning. Able to bounce back quite nicely last inning in the second, but here in the third, having some issues. Could be that it's getting colder and he's getting hard to feel the ball in his fingers. The 3-1. Outside, ball 4, and he walked the bases loaded with that one. Now there's nowhere for anyone to go, and the third baseman, Paul Clausen, is up.
Third baseman, number 18, Paul Clausen.
As umpire's strike zone, very much a hitter-friendly one. And by that I mean you don't have to swing and you can draw a walk, or you can swing and hit it to the outfield because it's right down the middle. 3-1. The Gorillas leading over the Hornets. Corners drawn in for the Gorillas. Trying to cut down the run at the plate. Meanwhile, back at the middle infielders, they're set up at double play depth. First pitch is a ball to Clausen. Clausen ended the first by flying out to right. There it was put away by Burgess. The 1-0 swung on and missed, and boy, that was a terrible decision by Clausen there. Trying to do way too much with that one, and he swung before there was any chance of it being a strike. Not what you would expect out of a junior. No more plate discipline, normally what you would anticipate. The 1-1. Grounded towards short. Cushman has it, and he's going to try and go to second. He throws it into right field. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Being waved around third to try and score is Perkins. Going to third and not getting there is Clausen. He's cut out, but the Hornets score 3 and are able to take a 4-3 lead. And the entire dugout out there celebrating how that happened, and that was a yank. Cushman did a phenomenal job stopping right there, but he tried to rush it and throw to second to get the out. That was a poor decision. He needed to just get up and hold on to the ball. Perkins, you can see there, after sliding, was able to get up and hustle away around and score from second. That gave it a 4-3 lead for the Hornets over the Gorillas. But then being cut down, going to third, was Clausen on a phenomenal tag by Oliver. Now the batter is the first baseman, Alex Pinner. Ball 1 on him. There are 2 outs. All of those runs, sans Dees, who was at third, should be unearned when going on the scorecard of Achterman. As Cushman just holds on to that, Dees is the only one that scores. Ball grounded foul. No balls and one ball and 1 strike. Boria scored 3 here in this inning. Cushman kicking himself, I'm sure, for doing that. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes, but didn't have much help either from his pitcher. Not from that pitch, but from the fact that Achterman has been erratic in his effectiveness tonight. A 1-2 swung on and missed by Piener. That is the second swinging strikeout of the game by Achterman. But damage done, and going to the bottom of the third, it's Emporia 4, it's State 3. Back after this on the MIAA Network.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Well, this is certainly a seesaw matchup, as currently the score is 4-3. Emporia State leading Pittsburgh State. Emporia led off the game by scoring 1 in the first. Pitt State responded by scoring 3 in the second. And then in the top of the third, the Emporia scored 3 runs on 1 hit, and they were aided by an error, a very costly error by the senior Tyler Cushman, trying to force it out at second base on a sliding attempt he had deep in the hole at shortstop when there really wasn't anything there. John Oliver, the third baseman, will step in. He squares around to bunt and will take a strike. Oliver flew out to right to end the bottom of the first. Tanner Carnes out there. And he'll have Oliver well out in front, and the ball bounced up and almost kind of got the catcher Minnick on the chin underneath his catcher's mask, but Minnick seems to be fine. Carnes will wind and deal and throw it low. Nice stop there by Minnick, going into the splits and then throwing the glove down to block the hole between his legs. Interestingly, Minnick not using the traditional finger signs, but using actual pat signs and get Oliver to chase a pitch outside for strike 3 there. Now number 1 in the bottom of the 3rd. And I say it's interesting because normally you don't see catchers tap certain parts of their body like that until there's a runner on second trying to deceive them. Normally you'll just see them put their hands down, hidden underneath their chest protector and by their shin guards. Batter now is Ty Herrenbrook, my first baseman, and he's out on his front foot and pulls it foul along the front of the Gorilla dugout. Herrenbrook drew a walk to start the 2nd inning. He eventually came around to score on the single by Blaine Olmeyer. The 0-1 in there, strike 2. 2 pitches and 2 strikes. Now Herrenbrook has got to be careful with what he goes after. Carnes once more with his herky-jerky motion, and now he'll pull out a bottom-dropping breaking ball. Herrenbrook, though, is able to lay off. Makes it 1-2. And a lot of times, when you go to the traditional finger pitches, you have 1 for your fastball, 2 for your curve, 3 for a slider, 4 for any sort of other off-speed pitch, and the rare pitchers who have 5. 5 is the miscellaneous. 2-2 on Herrenbrook. The pitch. Breaking ball outside, and Herrenbrook able to work the count full here. Carnes takes a deep breath, composes himself, he'll take another deep breath. Now he winds and deals. That ball sent deep down the line and left into the night sky and into the parking lot, fouling out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out. And as you can kind of see in there, there's Dr. Steve Scott, president of Pittsburgh State University, the host site of this year's 2019 MIAA baseball tournament. Hello, Dr. Scott. The 3-2 sent down the line along the right field side this time. And it's going to bounce a couple times and not quite hit a minivan that's parked on the road behind there. But here we are. Ty Herrenbrook, 8th pitch of the at-bat here, and he draws the walk. It was framed for a good long while by Minnick, and Carnes on the mound could not believe that that was a ball. And Carnes, you got to see, is a bit of an emotional pitcher. There have been a couple pitches that have not gone his way, and he has visibly shown it. He's still shaking his head over there at the fact that he sees Herrenbrook as opposed to a clean base. So now it comes set and deal facing off against Grayson Pinkett, the Gorilla catcher. Pinkett in his first at-bat sent a fly ball out to center field. Unique stretch style by Carnes there. The 0-1 low and away, ball 1. As he starts hunched over, but then whenever he brings his feet together, he locks that front leg. He'll start with his legs together, comes set. Now he locks that front leg right there. And it does help him because it forces him, whenever he goes into his stretch motion, bringing his leg up, it has to go straight up. He can't pull it back to himself. He can't go forward. It's got to go straight up so he keeps himself vertical, that he can push off straight toward home. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch grounded to short. Picked up over there by Nolan. DeGrove at second to first. Double play, 6-4-3, just what the doctor ordered for Emporia State. And they get out of this with no runs given up and not allowing a hit. They can go to the top of the 4th with a 4-3 lead. We'll be back with that top of the 4th here on the MIAA Network after this message.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter. Shortstop. High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Defender.
Goalie.
You look real relaxed there, Josh. Top of the 4th, score 4-3, Emporia over Pittsburg State. Emporia scored 4 runs on 5 hits. They have committed an error. Meanwhile, the Gorillas, 3 runs on 3 hits. They too have committed an error. Leading things off for Emporia is going to be the shortstop, Josh Norland, after he started a phenomenal 6-4-3 double play to end the bottom of the 3rd and ensure that the Hornets keep their 1-run lead for at least another inning. Alex Achterman back out there to start his 4th inning of work. The 1-0 is sent down the line and right, and that's going to be fair and bounce into the corner. It's picked up by the right fielder Burgess. He's going to throw it in, but not before it's a double. And oh my, strong throw by Burgess, but needed to be a little more accurate. Went over the shortstop Cushman, who was covering the bag. Thankfully, at 3rd was Oliver, who was alert enough to follow after it. Here it is one more time, right down the line, and just absolutely perfect. That's kind of where you want to have a ball hit in the corner for a leadoff double, but once again, there's the overthrow from Burgess. It's going to be a tough road to climb here right now for Achterman. Yes, he's got a runner on second with nobody out, and he'll immediately give up another shot. This time it's right to Cushman at short. Cushman will make sure he fields it cleanly and toss it over to first for the first out of the inning.
Now batting, the second baseman, Brian Grove.
So with that, we will go back to the top of the order. And the second baseman, Brian Grove. Once more, you see the sure-handedness of Cushman, showing why he is there as the starting shortstop. Grove will watch a strike catch the outside corner. Even though there's one out, having a runner at second is still where you want to go, because a ball hit to the right side of the infield, that is the first or second, to the side where the first baseman and second baseman are, allow them to advance the runner and get them close enough to home where just about anything could score them. The 0-1 is in there for a strike, no balls, and 2 strikes now. Grove officially 0 for 1, grounded out to second in the second. That ended the inning, and he led off the game with a walk. Achterman will check the runner at second. Coming in is Cushman, and Bit of a dangerous game there as Cushman popped his glove, breaking towards second, having read that Norland was going to hop off. Cushman was out of position when Ackerman threw it home. And if Grove could have done anything to just slightly put it to the left side, that would have been very difficult play for the shortstop. Doesn't matter, though, as Ackerman's able to bear down and get a strikeout. Bottom falling out of that curveball. Third swinging strikeout of the game registered by Ackerman, and Grove will slowly make his way back to the dugout and get ready to go out there on defense. That's catcher Cooper Minnick. Minnick 0 for 1 officially, reached by a fielder's choice back in the first. He eventually came around to score. Then he drew a walk in the third. And the pitch there is a big bending breaking ball. Minnick with no strikes on him, looking for something flat. He lets it go. Minnick, after reaching base via the walk, was cut down on a 3-6 fielder's choice. Nice fielding play by Herrenbrook along the line to get to Cushman at second. The 0-1 grounded to the right side, where it is fielded by Reisner, and he'll get it over to Herrenbrook, and that ends the inning. So working around the leadoff double is Ackerman in this fourth inning. Seems to have a penchant for even innings and a hatred for odds. To the bottom of the fourth we go. It's 4-3 Emporia. Back after this break here on the MIAA Network.
Hasty Awards has been proud to be the official award supplier to the MIAA for 7 years, and we're happy to supply you and your organization with all your award needs. Whether you're ordering for your individual youth sports team or placing a custom medal order, we have you covered. As always, you have our lowest price guarantee, highest quality awards, exceptional service, and our hasty turnaround. We are ready to serve you for your next event, no matter how large or small. Hasty Awards is the #1 source for all your award and recognition needs.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% will go pro. That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
4-3, Emporia State leads Pittsburgh State. At the top of the fourth, Emporia scored no runs on no hits. No runs on one hit, and they left a man on at second base. But he was left stranded there after leading off the inning with a double. Leading things off for the Gorillas in the bottom of the fourth, it'll be Chaz Burgess, the right fielder. He singled in his first plate appearance and came around to score on the single by Blaine Ohlmeyer. Coming out there for his fourth inning of work is Tanner Carnes. 0-1 inside to Burgess. Still with that herky-jerky motion is Carnes, and it does a little bit to kind of get into the head of batters as you got all these flying legs, arms, knees, elbows at you, and it's hard to pick up the ball when it comes over the shoulder. 0-1-1 inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes, and almost a full overshift put on by Emporia State. You can see in our shot there, shortstop Nolan is almost behind second base. The 1-2 is sent down the line and out of play. So we'll stay here at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Meanwhile, the second baseman Grove is shaded towards shallow right field. The 1-2 grounded. Going to be a tough play for Grove as he comes charging in. He fields it up, has to make a quick throw, and he throws it into the Emporia State dugout. That will put Burgess at second, and I knew from the moment that ball was hit off the turf, you get nice, clean, even bounces off the turf, but it was going to be a high chopper and a very difficult play from Grove, who was stationed in shallow right field to come in to his normal second base position to catch that. He fielded it cleanly, but then what he had to do is throw it across his body with all his momentum taking him toward home, and he was unable to do that. Ended up airmailing it into the Emporia State dugout. That puts Burgess at second. And now trying the backdoor pickoff move is Carnes. But once he took his foot off, he decided better against it. Now squaring around to bunt and a back throw down to second, dive back in by Burgess. And gotta be careful he doesn't get picked off from behind like that. Strong arm shown by Minnick. Batter's Clint Allen, who squared around a bunt and drew it back, took a ball. There's that back pick that you can see again, and if that's on the third base side of second, that is for sure an out. The 1-0, big breaker in the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. After Allen, it'll go Quinn Reasoner. And should there not be a double play turned, you'll see Blaine Allmeyer. Once again, squaring the bunt is out. He's going to put it down the first base side. Going to be a tough play in that triangle. Picked up by Carnes, and great job. Phenomenal work by Tanner Carnes to get off the mound, cover the first base side, pick it up with his glove, and then not rush himself to transfer it to his bare hand. You can see it right here. A little bit of a high one, pushed it maybe a little too hard. Carnes was able to cut his path perfectly, field it with the glove on a hop, underhand over to the first baseman, Penner, covering to record the out. However, moving to third is Burgess. So now there's a runner at third with less than 1 out for Quinn Reasoner, who drew a walk in the second. He eventually came around to score. 1 ball and no strikes on Reasoner, the 1-0. He sends it to the right side where it's picked up by the second baseman Grove. His only play is to first, and he retires the out, but not before Burgess will come in and score, and that is textbook. Get him on, get him over, get him in. That's how you draw it up. The infield was brought in, but because Grove left his feet to get over and cut off the ball, he had no chance to get enough behind his throw to go home. He had to go to first. That got the second out, but it's a tie ball game at 4-4 now. And I was not kidding whenever I said that this game is all about a seesaw. So now the batter is going to be Brian Allmeyer. Tanner Carnes there on the mound, looking determined. Allmeyer running up, trying to do a drag bunt, pulls it back, and we'll watch a strike nab the inside corner. Look of intensity on the face of Carnes we saw a second ago. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Allmeyer will ground it to second. Grove picks it up about his shoelaces, runs over to first and makes a nice little underhand lob to retire the side. But the Gorillas are able to scratch a run across based on a help of an error. So going to the 5th, we're all squared up at 4 apiece. You're watching the 2019 MIAA Baseball Tournament here on the MIAA Network.
Hasty Awards has been proud to be the official award supplier to the MIAA for 7 years, and we're happy to supply you and your organization with all your award needs. Whether you're ordering for your individual youth sports team or placing a custom medal order, we have you covered. As always, you have our lowest price guarantee, highest quality awards, exceptional service, and our hasty turnaround. We are ready to serve you for your next event, no matter how large or small. Hasty Awards is the #1 source for all your award and recognition needs.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% will go pro. That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
Top of the fifth. We are approaching the apex of this game. Score tied 4-4. Grillo scored 1 run on no hits. Left nobody on in the bottom of the fourth. Leading things off for Emporia State is Aaron Dees. He'll ground it out to the second baseman Reesner, who was deep at second. Well, almost midway into the, I wouldn't say almost in the midway, into very shallow right field. Better way to say it. For the first out of the inning. And now the batter is Connor Hurst, who is 2 for 2 thus far. Both hits have been singles. He'll watch a slow breaking ball stay up, ball 1. Thus far, the Hornets have scored 4 runs on 7 hits. They've left 4 on base, and they've committed 2 errors. For the Gorillas, they have scored 4 runs on 3 hits, left 3 on base, and have committed 1 error. The 1-1. Ball dropped off the table, and Hurst was able to lay off. Behind the plate, Grayson Pinkett calling a masterful game, and you can see the difference of calling pitches. I talk about whenever Carnes was on the mound, he gets the various bodily placement taps, usually reserved for a runner on second. Meanwhile, you can see whenever Achterman's on the mound, he gets the more traditional finger placements. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hurst. Pinkett looks into the dugout. He'll get the sign, flash it on to his pitcher. The 2-2 is a fastball that was going nowhere but the dirt. Absolute take for Hurst. That left no chance for it to be a strike. So that will run the count full. The 3-2. Grounded, foul of third. Trying to give it a shot was Oliver, but it ended up foul, so no problem. Someone in the Grillo bullpen hopping the fence, picking it up, and then tossing it in. That ball will be inspected and see if it is usable for a later date. Now, Hurst is not happy with the pace of play that Achterman is trying to establish here, so he will ask for time and be granted it. The 3-2 from Achterman is high, ball 4, and Achterman not happy about that. He felt it slip out of his hand the moment it left his fingers. Turned around to center field and shouted in frustration. Now he's going to go to the rosin bag, try and get some grip on it. Hurst at first. Say that 5 times fast. Got good speed as he's the center fielder. Now once again, back to the man of 1912 himself, Tucker Perkins. And he will swing at the first pitch and soar it along the left field line and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Perkins is 0 for 1 officially, having flown out to left, but he drew a walk in the third and eventually came around to score on the throwing error by Tyler Cushman. When Cushman was trying to retire Perkins going first to second. It was a very tough play for Cushman, and the wiser choice would have been to hold on to it, but Cushman wanted to get a little greedy and ended up airmailing it into right field. Pickoff throw over to first. Diving back in is Hurst. 1 on, 1 out. No balls and 1 strike. Score at 4 apiece here in the top of the 5th. Achterman comes set, and he'll deliver. Swung on and missed by Perkins. Achterman working very, very slowly. The 0-2 in there, and the K hung backwards. a delayed call by the home plate umpire as the second out of the inning. And on the mound, Ackerman is a little bit reminding me of Mike Hargrove, pitchers in the 70s and 80s in Major League Baseball, who was known as the human rain delay for just the amount of time he would take, not only with his antics, but just with standing around kind of doing nothing. And I realize Ackerman on the mound is not doing nothing. He's thinking about many things and trying to figure out the best way to attack these Hornet batters, but he is being very, very slow and methodical going to the plate. Pickoff throw over to first, and once more Connor Hurst will dive back in and get there safely. Ackerman set, check of the runner, and he'll deliver. Big curveball strike. Faking the steal from first was Hurst. Stopped after about 3 hard steps. Enough to get a call of going from the Gorilla dugout, trying to get in the head of Ackerman and maybe have him commit a balk. But Ackerman remained focused on his target, the glove of his catcher Pinker, and followed through. The 0-2, fastball low and outside, ball 1. And that one looked better. And the called strike on Perkins, the previous at-bat. 1 ball and 2 strike. Hurst, a modest lead over there. Now he'll extend it just a little bit more. As Ackerman comes set, he takes off. The 1-2 is fouled, out of play, over the Emporia State dugout on the first base side. So having to trot back to first is Hurst. One ball and 2 strikes on Paul Clausen, the third baseman for Emporia State. The 1-2. Had to reach for it. He'll roll over it to Cushman at short, who fields it, and a strong throw over just in time to retire Clausen. Nobody, no runs scored, no hits earned. 1 runner was left. To the end of, at the end of the top of the 4th, it is, top of the 5th, it is 4-4 here on the MIAA Network.
NCAA Teamworks is how the NCAA, member schools, student athletes, and corporate champions and partners actively engage in outreach efforts where national championships are played. Through initiatives such as NCAA Community 101 service learning projects, disaster relief efforts, youth clinics, backpack and school supply donations, and support of the Special Olympics and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the NCAA and its partners work together to leave a lasting legacy in the community. For more information on NCAA Teamworks, go to ncaa.com/teamworks.
We've got our heads in the game,
our minds in the classroom,
our hands in the community,
and our feet ready for the world.
We're a part of the NCAA Division II experience.
Using our skills
at our universities and in our communities. I chose the MIAA.
I chose the MIAA.
MIAA, the spirit of our communities.
Leading off for Pittsburgh State.
Bottom of the 5th. Both teams have scored 4 between Emporia State and Pittsburgh State. First batter in this bottom of the 5th. It'll be Tyson Cushman, the shortstop for Pittsburgh State. Cushman, he is 1 for 2, although he's reached base twice. Got on via fielder's choice in the first inning, and then singled in the second. Tanner Carnes still using all of his joints to confuse the Pittsburgh State batters. 0-1 will skip over the 2 tops of Cushman. Makes it 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the Emporia State infielders shifting these left-handed hitters of the Gorillas almost to an extreme shift. As the shortstop Norland is basically behind second until there are 2 strikes on them. Then he'll shift back to a more traditional shortstop position. The 1-2. A little bit of a flinch by Cushman, but the bat never left his shoulder. Makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. However, when they do that, they leave Clausen all alone at third, as he is about a step and a dive off of the line and a step behind the bag. The 2-2 will be fought off, foul to third. After Cushman, it's the pitcher Achterman and the third baseman John Oliver. The 2-2 once more. This one's sent into left field. It's over the shift. Grove leaping up but unable to make the catch. Feeling it off the ground is Dees. He'll toss it in to Norland at second base. And you can see right there, there's Grove in second at his second base position and semi-shallow right field, and that was well over him. A leadoff single for Tyson Cushman and the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. That'll be Alex Achterman. Achterman squares around the bunt. He'll pull it back, and it's going to be called a ball. Man, that looked like it was right in the zone there. But Achterman was able to pull the bat back on one that was below the strike zone. Once more, the left-hand hitters, you got that modified extreme shift, although with the runner at first, you're going to see the second baseman Grove closer in. Ball line past the third baseman Clausen into left, rounding second very hard, and now he's going to retreat is Cushman as the ball took a little bit to get to Sloan in left, but he was able to pick it up, and then once he did, kind of double clutch. That was a dive by Clausen then. Bobbled it, then he double clutched and threw it, but it was cut off by Norland. So now there are runners at first and second with nobody out. And your cleanup hitter is up. This is a time to strike. And they're going to try to front door pick off Cushman. And once more, a half-hearted spin around by Carnes. And I guess I need to say the difference of what's a front door pickoff and a back door pickoff a second. A front door pickoff basically signifies that you can see the front of the pitcher's chest. Now they're going to do a back door, or excuse me, a throw back down, not a back door, throw back down, and Cushman dives back in. And he's safe. That was right in the zone, strike 1. Oliver squared around 2 bunt. Oh, it's out of the zone. Ball 1, they say. Man, that looked like it was in there. That's 1 ball and no strikes. Anyways, front door pickoff, you can essentially see the face and the chest of the pitcher as he turns to throw it to second base. Back door, you're going to see the numbers. There's a back door throw up, and it goes into center field. Goes off the back of Cushman. He's going to get to third. He's going to be held there, and now there are 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out, and that right there takes away the need for the bunt and opens up the playbook for Oliver, and that was just spiked behind the shortstop Norland. Norland frustrated that it wasn't there. Now there's going to be a conference on the mound between all the infielders. Nobody warming up in the Emporia State bullpen, so this game right now is all Carnes. Going to third on the air is Cushman. Going to second is Achterman. Runners at second and third. Nobody out, 1 ball, no strikes. On the third baseman, John Oliver. And Tanner Carnes is extremely anxious and frustrated with how this turn of events has gone. Lifts up his leg, deals, ground ball to short. Nolan guys, he's going to come home, and it gets away from the catcher, Minnick. Coming in to score is Cushman. And Norland A poor baseball decision there. Coming in home, his momentum was bringing him toward the plate, yes, but he didn't have a chance to properly set his feet to make a strong, accurate throw, which when you're going home, if it's not a force, you got to make sure you're right on target. Should have gone over to first, got the out. Now there's runners on the corners with nobody out. And this train can keep on a-rolling for Pittsburgh State. Ball gets away from the catcher, Minnick, in that it gets out of his glove. Fielder's choice on Echterman. There was no chance of an out at home, but Fielder's choice on Norland. There was no chance for Norland to get the out at home, but he still made the decision to go there anyways. So now it's no balls and one strike on the first baseman, Ty Herrenbrook, who is looking for his first official at-bat as he has drawn 2 walks. He'll swing and soar it into the Pittsburgh night sky, drifting over toward the Pittsburgh State dugout. He is the first baseman, Penner, and he's about 2 feet too short to make the catch as it's the very top of the Emporia State dugout. I mean, if he's 8'3", he can make that catch because it was just barely out of play. But as it is, he's an average man of about 5'8" to 6'1". Scores 5-4 here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 strikes on Herrenbrook. He'll send it to third, knocked down by Clausen, only plays to first, and he gets it there in time. Getting over to second is Oliver. 5-3 is the putout for Herrenbrook, and that is a textbook job of a third baseman right there, making himself big, sacrificing his body to get the out. Did everything right there. If he lets that get by him, that's 1 run in for sure, possibly 2, depending on how far into the corner that rolls. So now there's runners at second and third with 1 out, and the batter is Grayson Pinkett, the catcher for Pittsburgh State, who's 0 for 2, having flown out to center and hit into a double play. It's 1 ball and 1 strike on Pinkett. Both teams having some mental lapses in this game, and it could be the fact that it's 7:30 and they're not used to playing. Check swing unable to hold up, so Pinkett will find himself down the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Could also be the fact that it is cold, an unseasonably cold May night. Now the game starts for these players in February. It's cold. Swung on and missed. Gets away from the catcher, Minnick. He'll throw down to first to complete the strikeout. Minnick, beautiful job smothering the ball, then throwing it over to first to complete the strikeout. That does not allow any sort of advancement by the runners. As I was saying, MIAA baseball weather starts in February. It is bone cold then. But as the season progresses, it gets warmer. So by the time you get to May here, it's anywhere from high 60s to low 80s with the occasional foray into the 90s. Having this 50-degree weather in May after having numerous weeks of mid-70s weather has really affected how these games have gone out. Ball almost clipping the jersey of Chaz Burgess, the right fielder there, but he's able to bow himself out of the way in time. Burgess 1 for 2, a single, and he's reached by an error. Now they're going to throw down to third, diving back in safely is Achterman. Here's another look at it. I got to tell you, Minnick is just itching to throw somebody out. I mean, he is taking every chance he gets to throw it down to a base, whether it's first or second or third. He wants to have a runner off and test his arm against them. 3-1. Here's the pitch. Grounded over to the second baseman Grove, who will field it just beyond the brown turf representing the infield dirt, and toss it over to first to retire the inning. Going to the top of the sixth, it's Pittsburgh State 5, Emporia State 4. Back with more baseball here on the MIW Network following this break.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Top of the sixth, score 5-4 now after the Gorillas scored 1 run on 1 hit and left 2 on base in the bottom of the 5th. Emporia State committed yet another error, their 3rd of the night, at least according to my scorecard, which is not the official one. So don't take what I say worth much if you don't feel like it. Batter now is Alex Penner. And the first pitch that he will see, he check swings and fouls it off the very knob of the bat. And there's only one other foul ball that's more frustrating than that one. And that's the one where you stand there, the ball flies behind your head, and somehow finds the barrel of your bat. The 0-1. Grounded to the right side of the infield. It's picked up by Reisner, and he'll get it over to Herrenbrook at first for the first out of the inning. That's 2 pitches and 1 out. That's efficiency. And now it seems as though Alex Ochterman has settled into a little bit of a groove after, in the first innings, hating the odds and loving the evens. Now up is the shortstop Josh Norland. He'll launch a breaking ball, paint the outside corner, strike 1. Contest between the number 4 seed Pittsburgh State and number 5 seed Emporia State. They appeal down to 3rd, and the umpire says he did not go around. So that makes it 1 ball and 1 strike following that check swing. All the other higher seeds have won today in the 2019 MIAA baseball tournament here at Al Ortolani Field. Action started at 9 a.m. this morning between the number 3 seed Central Oklahoma and the number 6 seed Lindenwood. Central Oklahoma won 3-0 thanks to a phenomenal pitching performance by Dylan Hall. Going a complete game, 1-hit shutout on 105 pitches. Second game saw the number 2 seed Missouri Southern State University Lions take on the number 7 seed Northwest Missouri State University Bearcats. And Missouri Southern emerged victorious, 4-0. Count now full 3-2 on Norland. That game saw our first home run of the MIAA tournament, and thus far our only home run, the 3-2. Rolled over and grounded over to Reisner, and Reisner once again gets it over to Herrenbrook for the second out of the inning. Take another look at it. 3-2 pitch, a little bit on the outside part of the plate. Norland knows he has to defend, and he couldn't do much with it. Just kind of got over the top of it and sent it fairly weakly toward Reisner at second. Game number 3 saw top-seeded Central Missouri, who is also the regular season MIAA champion, defeat number 8 Missouri Western, though they had to come back for it up until 2 outs in the 7th inning. Missouri Western led the entire game. They were up 4-3 until that 2-out 7th inning, and it all just kind of fell apart for the Griffins and came together for the Mules. They were able to scrape by a 5-4 victory. And Central Missouri is waiting for the winner of this Pittsburg State Emporia State game. Batter is Mitch Sloan, the left fielder, who is 0 for 2, having struck out swinging and grounded out to shortstop. Achterman looking for his looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. The 2-1. Big old diagonal breaker, missing low and away, and a little bit of a grimace from Achterman as he walks toward the mound. Tomorrow's matchups set thus far. Central Oklahoma will take on Missouri Southern at 4 p.m. Lindenwood will take on Northwest Missouri at 9 a.m. Central Missouri, like I said, takes on the winner between Emporia State and Pittsburg State at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. Meanwhile, the loser meets Missouri Western at 12:30 p.m. Count is now full on Sloan. The 3-2 from Achterman. High and tight, ball 4, and Achterman looking away as if to say he knew that pitch got away from him. So the 1-2-3 inning is still eluding Achterman, but he has shown the prowess to not let this affect him. We'll head back to the top of the order now, and Brian Grove, who is 0 for 2, having drawn a walk, grounded out to second, and struck out swinging. Now we'll have a mound visit, heading out to talk with the Achterman as well as the entire infield. It's the Pittsburg State pitching coach. Slowly trying to figure out how they want to do this. Can't quite see if anyone is up in the Gorilla bullpen. There is one person throwing. Can't see the number right off the top of my head. It appears to be Connor Lungwitz, but I cannot swear to it. Looks to be number 34 down there. It is indeed Connor Lungwitz, the right-handed throwing senior for the Gorillas. And I would think that after this inning, Achterman's night might be done. But he's got to get through Grove first, and he starts off with a strike. No balls and 1 strike. The runner over at first is Sloan. He's held there by Herrenbrook. Deep into shallow right field is the second baseman Reesner. 0-1 low, ball 1. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 fouled out into the backstop makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Game has been a seesaw battle with Emporia State drawing first blood, scoring 1 run in the first inning. Pittsburg State then responded with 3 of their own in the second. Emporia retaliated in kind with 3 in the third. Ground ball to second. Reesner has to take a couple hops. Now he's got to go over there fast, and he does so. Bang, bang, but retiring the side. All 3 ground balls heading to Quinn Reesner, the second baseman, and that will end the inning. So no runs, no hits, 1 batter left to the bottom of the 6th. It's Pittsburg State 5, Emporia State 4. Back after this here on the MIAA Network.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Bottom of the sixth, it's 5-4. The Gorillas over the Hornets. Leading things off for Pittsburgh State here in the bottom of the sixth is the left fielder Clint Allen, who was 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He also laid down a sacrifice bunt. He'll be facing off for the third time against Tanner Carnes, and Carnes is getting the most out of his body with that herky-jerky motion. He ends up spiking that pitch in the left-hand batter's box, but he comes right back and nails the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck for Pittsburgh State is Quinn Reisner, and it'll be Brian Ohlmeyer in the hole. The 1-1 is just kind of nubbed foul, a quarter of the way down the third baseline, and that right there is one benefit to turf. Foul balls are foul balls, where if that's dirt, there's a chance that it could hit a rock or catch the grass slip and spin its way back fair. But since it's turf and everything is level, the only difference is color, it stayed foul. Though for good measure, it was picked up by Clausen. 1-2, big breaker, and Allen spits on it. Double elimination tournament here at the MIAA Championship, so even if a team were to lose today, they do have a possibility to get back in the championship game Sunday. It would just be a very, very long road. Ground ball to first baseman Rayner, and he does a phenomenal job picking it up and taking it to the base himself for out number 1. That'll bring up Quinn Reisner, who is 0 for 1. Although he has drawn a walk, and that is a pitch that stuck deep in the hand of Carnes. Not quite so deep that he spiked it right in front of himself, but he spiked that pretty good around home plate. 1-0 is a two-seamer that will hit the lower inside quadrant. 1 ball and 1 strike. Got to give credit to not only Carnes, but also Minnick to be dedicated to this pat system of calling pitches. Because any sort of mispat of a body part and you could be seriously crossed up. The 1-2, swung on and missed. Got him to chase a curveball low and away for a strike 3, and that is out number 2 in this bottom of the 6th.
Center fielder, Blaine Ohlmeyer.
We will flip the order over to the top now, and there you can see a swing and a miss. Just broke away from the barrel head of Reisner. And the batter is the center fielder, Blaine Ohlmeyer. And he will swing over the top of a breaking ball. That would have hit his back foot had it not been caught by the catcher, Mimic. The 0-1, low 1-1. Still no action for the Hornets. So Carnes will have the rubber arm and finish out this game. The 1-1 foul to the backstop. Stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes now for the Hornets in their half. And the top of the 7th, I should say. It'll be Minnick, Dees, and Hurst. Fouling out of play and staying alive is Olmeyer. Dedicated fans still hanging out despite it being late on a school night. The 1-2 grounded to the right side where it is picked up once again by Painter, who will take it himself and step on the bag for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Gorillas in the bottom of the 2nd. To the 7th we go. It's Emporia State 4, Pittsburgh State 5. Back after this on the MIAA Network. It is the top of the 7th. Pittsburgh State Gorillas, number 4 seed, leading the Emporia State Hornets, number 5 seed, by the score of 5-4. Officially, each team has 6 hits, while the Hornets have committed 4 errors, just compared to the Gorillas 1. New pitcher for the Gorillas is Connor Lungwitz, who was working in the Gorilla bullpen last inning. So it's 6 innings complete for Ackerman, and he's on line for the win. Lungwitz, a 6'5", 220-pound senior, native of Wichita, Kansas, and coming to Pittsburgh State from Wichita State. There you have the senior and Tyler Cushman. And
number 11, Cooper Minnick.
While we're on height and weight, Cushman is a 190-pound junior out of Blue Springs, Missouri. Graduated from Blue Springs South. For the Hornets, batter is Cooper Minnick. Minnick watches ball 1 from the hand of Lungwitz. Minnick, a redshirt junior, 5'10", 180 pounds. So he is absolutely tiny compared to Lungwitz, and a phenomenal play down there at the hot corner by Oliver. That was on him in a New York minute, and he was able to defend himself phenomenally, and then made a strong, accurate throw over to Herrenbrook at first for out number 1.
These things are warm, okay? No air gets through.
So there's 1 out here in the top of the 2nd, and Aaron Deese, the right fielder, will dig into the batter's box. Watches ball 1 go by. Deese is 1 for 3, singled back in the first, although he reached by a fielder's choice in the 3rd, and eventually came around to score. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Score 5-4 in favor of Pittsburgh State here in the top of the 7th with 1 out. Cushman cheating a little bit toward second base from his shortstop position. And way out in shallow right field is the second baseman Reesner. Longwitz working out of the stretch. He'll come set and deliver. Fouled out of play. Spoiled by Dees. Too close to take. So he just kind of flicks the bat head at it. And will stay alive. Longwitz will get the sign from Pinkett. Come set. Exhale deeply and deliver, and that is a hot shot, heads up there. That hit the pole right above our cameraman, Josh Lettner, who you can see currently on screen. And I feel like everyone else was scared. John right there. Josh was doing everything he could to get the shot. Talking earlier today, one of our other crew members, John Eastman, was afraid of a foul ball that would somehow come crashing through the glass and into our control room, set up behind Josh, and the pole saved that one. Meanwhile, back on the diamond, the ball is spiked in the dirt. Well, I guess spiked technically in the turf, as there is no dirt here at Al Orlani Field. It's all been replaced by turf. 2-2 the count. Now he misses high and outside, 3-2. Connor Hurst, the center fielder, is on deck for Emporia State. By far the most dangerous and productive player for the Hornets offensively tonight. The 3-2, high and outside, ball 4. Catching it halfway out of his crouch was Pinkett. So it's a one-out walk, and Dees is on base. This is a tough task defensively for the Gorillas now, as both Dees and Hurst, being outfielders, have excellent speed. A double play is highly unlikely to be turned unless it is drilled right at someone. Hurst will watch ball 1 bounce in front of the plate. Nice stop there by the catcher, Pinkett. That's 4 straight balls thrown by Longwitz. Hurst is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. He scored a run as well as drawn a walk. A perfect 1,000 in the batting average and on base. The 1-0 will paint the black outside. Both of these teams nearly evenly matched. If you look at the stats provided, now the runner's going to take off from first, swung on and missed, and a beautiful jump from first base by Aaron Dees has him stealing second base. And now he's in scoring position with 1 out. He has timed that leg kick from Longwitz perfectly. Additionally, he went on a curveball that bounced in the dirt. That gave Pinkett no chance to field it cleanly and attempt to throw down to second. Pinkett making the wise decision to hold on to the ball. Now a turnaround fake front door pickoff by Longwitz. Game number 4 and day 1 at the 2019 MIAA Baseball Championship. Number 4 seed Pittsburgh State Gorillas taking on number 5 seed Emporia State Hornets. The 1-2, and again it hit that post. And once more, Josh Lettner showing no fear, staying right where the camera is.
No fear, it's no reaction time.
And I've just been informed that it's not no fear, it's no reaction time. I'm trying to give him credit, but apparently he doesn't want any. Now he's just shrugging his shoulders. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Longwitz, bigger lead taken over there at second by Dees. And that ball is going to get away underneath the legs of Pinkett. He's able to find it, though, throw it over to first in time, completing the strikeout. And that was a nearly bad situation for the Gorillas and a fortuitous one for the Hornets. It was a bad pitch, and it took Pinkett a little bit. He smothered it well. It took him a little bit, though, to find where the ball was. He was able to do so eventually. Then he made a good throw down to first to retire Hurst. That's the first time Hurst has been retired. However, going to third is Dietz. That is the tying run, just 90 feet from home plate. He'll face off against Tucker Perkins, the designated hitter. Perkins flown out to left, drawn a walk, and he is struck out looking. Lungwitz trying to keep this game going. Here's the pitch. Just missing outside and low. Two-seamer from Perkins, tailing away out of the zone. Excuse me, two-seamer from Lungwitz, tailing away out of the zone. Perkins was able to recognize the spin and the location and let it go. The 1-1 grounded to the right side, and actually right back up the middle. Lungwitz will get it, and he underhands over to first, and the one-out walk is avoided. So now it's 5-4. The girls lead at the end of 6.5. Stretch time here at Al Ortolani Field as we go to the bottom of the 7th. It's Pittsburgh State 5, Emporia State 4. Back after this on the MIAA Network.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter. Shortstop. High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Well, I hope you brought your peanuts and Cracker Jacks as you sung the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game by yourself. In the top of the 7th, the Hornets scored no runs on no hits. They left one runner on. Girls committed no errors. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Tyson Cushman will lead things off. Still facing off against Tanner Carnes. Ground ball into shallow right field where the second baseman Grove is positioned perfectly to field it and sling it over to first for out number 1. Out slowly being counted down if you're a Gorilla fan. And even if you're an Emporia State fan, as you know that time is closing out. Everyone sends the replay, a smooth field by Brian Grove there at second to retire Cushman. Now the batter will be Alex Ackerman, I believe. The 1-0 is grounded right back up the middle over the rubber, but fielded by the shortstop Norland and over to first for out number 1. And actually it went off the back thigh of Carnes, and it was kind of deflected over to Norland. So great concentration by Norland to get that out. Now the pitch to John Oliver will nab the inside corner, strike one. And the batter previously was indeed Ackerman. He has now been moved to the DH following Lungwitz's entry as the pitcher. 1 ball and 1 strike on Oliver. The pitch is high, ball 2, and We see another shift defensively. This time it's for a right-handed hitter as the second baseman Grove is standing right behind second base. That's 3 infielders on the left side of the infield, leaving the first baseman Penner all by his lonesome over on the right side. Now that there are 2 strikes, Grove will take a few steps to his left and step out of frame. The 2-2 punched into shallow right field. Going after it and catching it on the run is Dees. That will do it. 1, 2, 3 go the Gorillas in the bottom of the 7th. No runs, no hits, nobody left. To the 8th we go. It's Pittsburgh State 5, Emporia State 4. Back with more baseball here on the MIAA Network after this.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter. Shortstop. High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
7 complete in the books. Start of the 8th. Score is Pittsburgh State 5, Emporia State 4. Coming out for his second inning of work is Lungwitz. Lungwitz in his first inning retired 3 of the 4 Hornets that he faced. He did issue a walk, but he got a strikeout as well. Now the batter he will face is Paul Clausen, the third baseman, to begin things. The pitch on the outside corner at the knee, strike 1. Pinkett has called a very good game for the Gorillas, mixing up locations and eyesights and speeds. Have the Hornet batters off their position, and now he'll go way low below the strike zone and has Clausen swinging and missing, reaching out at a pitch he couldn't touch with any regulation baseball bat. So the count now is no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 bounced in front of home, and Pinkett went over to try and block it. Bounced off his shoulder pad and got away from him a little bit. Nobody on, so there's no harm, no foul for Gorilla fans. Pointing out to his pitcher, saying that's exactly what I wanted you to do regardless of how the result was. He wanted it low and outside, and it ended up being low and outside. So that's 1-2 on Clausen, who is 0-for-3. Count now 2-2. Clausen flown out to right. He has reached by an error, and then he is grounded out too short. The 2-2. Swung on and missed, gets away from Pinkett again. This time he knows exactly where it is, so he's able to compose himself and throw it on the outside part of the bag to record the strikeout. And that's how both strikeouts for Lungwitz have been thus far, in that he has thrown it low and it's bounced somewhat away from Pinkett. Pinkett's able to corral it and toss it on down to Herrenbruck at first for out number 1. So now the batter is Alex Painter, and that one is in the heart of the plate at the knees, and Painter does not take a swing at it. Alex Painter at this point most likely won't see the plate again. Wants to avoid the sombrero, but he is flirting with disaster as he's down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. He's already been struck out looking and struck out swinging. Interesting to see what happens next. Longwitz gets the sign from Pinkett. The 0-2, high and outside. Ball 1. I already had one player nab a sombrero today with 3 strikeouts. Painter in danger of becoming a second. The 1-2, swung on and missed, and it's a sombrero for Painter as he heads to the bench. His 3rd strikeout of the game. Only thing worse than that, the golden sombrero with 4 strikeouts in a game. And he just swung right over the top of that breaking ball. He choked up his swing to try and have a chance to put it in play, and he came up empty. Now the batter is going to be Josh Norland, and that ball will be lofted up and over the new sporting facility built for the PSU baseball team along the 3rd baseline, which has been tattooed twice on a support beam right in front of our camera op, Josh Lettner. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch high and outside. Ball 1. Pinkett pointing out with his glove to tell Longwitz to just miss low. Don't miss high, miss low. If Norland can reach, it'll go to Mitch Sloan. The 1-1. That's sent into left field. Going underneath it is Allen. Gets behind it and catches it with 2 hands, and that is it. 1, 2, 3. Go the Hornets in the top of the 8th. To the bottom of the 8th we go. It is PSU 5, ESU 4. Back with more MIAA baseball at the 2019 MIAA Baseball Championship after this here on the MIAA Network.
We've got our heads in the game,
Our minds in the classroom,
our hands in the community,
and our feet ready for the world.
We're a part of the NCAA Division II experience.
Using our skills
at our universities and in our communities. I chose the MIAA.
I chose the MIAA.
MIAA, the spirit of our communities.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Well, 7 and 8 complete in the books. We're here in the bottom of the 8th now. The Gorillas leading the Hornets by a score of 5-4. Ty Herrenbrook will begin the 8th for the Gorillas. Herrenbrook 0 for 1 officially, but he's drawn 2 walks. Tanner Carnes will step off the rubber, not liking how the tongue of his cleat is rubbing against his ankle, so he will step back and adjust that. Now there seems to be some action in the Hornet bullpen. I don't know if it's for this game or to loosen them up and make sure that when they play tomorrow they aren't completely cold, but there is one person down there in the right field bullpen throwing off the mound. Herrenbrook watches a strike go by. Following Herrenbrook, it'll be Grayson Pickett and Chaz Burgess. The 0-1, that's sent down the line and out of play over first base. So very quickly, it's no balls and 2 strikes. Tanner Carnes trying to go the distance for his team, even though he is on the hook for the loss. And time is called, asked for, and granted. Just before Carnes went into his windup, Herrenbrook was not happy with the delay between pitches. The 0-2, and that is a curveball that crossed the strike zone high, and Carnes not happy with it because it was indeed caught where the top of the strike zone was. However, when it crossed the plate, it was probably 6, maybe 7 inches too tall. The 1-2, swung on a miss, bounces away from the catcher Minnick, but he'll get on it quickly and throw it to the inside part of first to retire Herrenbrook. 2-3 for the strikeout.
Now batting, the catcher, Grayson.
Once again, catcher's doing a great job when given 2-strike breaking balls that are going to be called low, smothering them, getting on them quickly, and then finding a clear lane to throw it down to first. Batter now is Grayson Pinkett. Pinkett 0 for 2. He's flown out to center, grounded into a double play, and struck out. The 0-1 just outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 as Carnes has decided to up his tempo, and that's low and outside. 2-1, and I don't know if that was too low per se. Where it started its break, it appeared to be in the zone from what I'm watching, but it may have been outside. Now Carnes is pitching very much emotionally and a little erratically. He's behind 3-1. The 3-1 on the way to Pinkett. That's at the knees for a strike. In the top of the 9th, it's going to be Sloan, Grove, and Minnick for Emporia State. The 3-2 is sent into shallow center field, and it's going to drop in front of Hurst. Hurst was playing very deep, and with how cold it's been, the ball did not travel near as far as Hurst thought it was going to be. And not only that, he also wasn't sure if the second baseman, Grove, who was drifting out, was going to make a play for it. And so with that, there's a runner on first with 1 out. That's Chaz Burgess up, and he will take an absolute rip at that pitch on the inner half of the plate, but come up empty. Five to 4. Pittsburgh State leading Emporia State. Once more, a breaking ball low that's going to bounce away, and a great job by the catcher to block it. Can't quite see the number of who's warming up down in the pen for Emporia State. But it's a right-hander. The 0-2 bouncing in the dirt. Wonderful read by the runner over there at first, and it's going to be a stolen base for Pinkett. Read that curveball in the dirt, and even though dropping, not really dropping to his knees, but moving forward to keep that ball in front of him was Minnick, he could not keep it close enough to prevent Pinkett from trying to steal. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ball is foul. Picked up behind the plate by the catcher Minnick. Minnick popped out of his couch very quickly, but then got the ball. And he was still in foul territory when he grabbed it. Being told that the pitcher down in the Hornet bullpen is Drew Schrimster, the right-handed throwing senior. He might come in, he might not, as there's count 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Ball is high, 2-2, probably being warmed up for the chance that Emporia State can tie the game in the top of the 9th. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. And the pitch swung on and missed. Burgess kind of pulled his head on that swing, and he comes up empty. So now there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th, and it'll be the left fielder Clint Allen. Here's another look. You can see he swung right over the top of that.
27, Caleb Cox.
Now there's actually going to be a pinch hitter And it's going to be Caleb Cox for Clint Allen. And with that, now there's a mound visit. This very much could be to get the last few warm-up pitches for Shrimshire, excuse me, down there in the bullpen. Scores 5-4. Winner of this game will take on top-seeded Central Missouri tomorrow evening at 7:30. Meanwhile, the loser will take on Missouri Western tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. Now, home plate umpire Ryan Carley has said, okay, that's enough, gentlemen. Let's get this game on the road. Now, Caleb Cox is up. Pinch hitting for Clint Allen.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 24, Quinn Reesner.
And they're going to intentionally walk Cox to put runners on first and second. And so then that brings up Quinn Reesner, who will run down and talk to his to his third base coach in order to figure out what sort of strategy he wants. The walk will put runners at first and second. So now there's a force at first, second, and third, and pinch running in for Cox. It's going to be Tyler Pittman. All sorts of substitutions going on here in the bottom of the 8th for the Gorillas. First pitch to Reesner is in there, strike one. The unorthodox stretch motion of Tanner Carnes in full effect here. The 0-1 will miss high. Starts with his legs locked, the ball in his throwing hand, as you can see here when he gets the sign. Then he'll come set, have everything bent, locks that front leg to force himself to be able to only go forward, move up to get his momentum going, and then forward to go home. Keeps everything vertical. It's much more stable and fluid than his wind-up motion, which is really all knees and elbows. Count now 1-2 on Quinn Reesner, who is 0 for 2, and he will swing and a miss, be punched out swinging for the second time tonight. So, to the top of the 9th, it's the last licks for the Hornets. The score, Pittsburgh State 5, Emporia State 4. Back after this with the 2019 MIAA Baseball Championship here on the MIAA Network.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Top of the 9th, and things looking a little bleak at the moment for Emporia State as they trail 5-4 here in this top of the 9th. New pitcher for the Gorillas is going to be Tanner Lane, left-handed thrower. The first lefty Emporia State will face tonight from the Gorillas. 3 outs is a long way to go in baseball, but should this hold out, Pittsburgh State will take on Central Missouri tomorrow at 7:30. Meanwhile, Emporia State will face Missouri Western at 12:30. First batter that Lane will face is the left fielder Mitch Sloan. 9-1-2 for the Hornets here in the top of the ninth. Sloan, Grove, Minnick. Sloan 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. He did draw a walk back in the 6th, but he never got past first base. Standing on the utmost third base side of the rubber is Lane as he goes through his windup. Ground ball to short. Cushman fields it at about his knees, and a throw over to first in time. Out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Efficiency shown by Lane. Here's another look at it. Right down the heart of the plate. Sloan got a little too anxious. Cushman, great job charging the ball, fielding it before he got an unruly hop, even though unruly hops are nigh impossible on turf. And he got a strong throw over to Herrenbrick in time. Back to the top of the order, and Brian Grove will put a man hack at that pitch and come up with nothing. Grove 0 for 3. Grounded out to second twice, struck out swinging once, and he started this game with a walk way back in the first. The 0-1, that's a big breaker that will drop below the strike zone. Ball 1. Gorillas scored 5 runs on 7 hits. They've committed 1 error. They have left 7 on base. Meanwhile, the Hornets have scored 4 runs on 6 hits. They have committed 4 errors and also left 7 on base. Swing and a miss by Grove, once again putting his back into it, but coming up with air. So now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tanner Lane looking for the save here. Gets the sign from Pinkett. Kicks, deals, just misses outside. Held there and framed by Pinkett. Home plate umpire not buying it though. And that's the right call. That was outside of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Grove digging in, and now Lane isn't happy with what he's seen, so he will step off. Shifting well over into the hole between second base and first base is the second baseman Reesner for Pittsburgh State. Meanwhile, Cushman is almost directly behind the second base bag. Count now full. Raucous crowd of Pittsburgh State fans still holding out as we are at the 10 o'clock hour now here at Al Ortolani Field on a Thursday night, school night, for quite a few people. The 3-2 from Lane, swung on and missed. And Grove tried to catch up with that high heat, and he was unable to do so. Take a nice look at it right here. Ball at the letters. Lane much too late to pull the trigger. And the Hornets find themselves down to their final out. Cooper Minnick will dig into the right-hand batter's box and try to keep this game alive for the Hornets. He'll swing so hard that he hits the catcher Pickett on his backswing, and Pickett will walk out to his pitcher Lane, give him the ball, and take a little bit of time to recover. And now as Pinkett settles in behind the plate, Minnick will apologize. You could kind of see that he said, "I'm sorry about that," and Pinkett stuck out his glove to say there's no worry. It's all part of the game. The 0-1 outside, 1-1. And it's worth noting that way back in the third inning, Emporia State head coach Seth Wheeler got himself thrown out arguing balls and strikes. A little bit of a wonder as to how this game might have changed if he hadn't been ejected and would still be in the dugout to cheer and lead his team on. Foul tip into the glove of Pinkett. We'll see both the Minnick and Emporia State down to their final strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. The pitch from Lane, swung on and missed. High cheese, unable to be caught up to by Minnick. Back-to-back strikeouts, climbing the ladder by Lane, and that will end the ball game. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas winning 5-4 over the Emporia State Hornets. Tomorrow, all games are set. Game 1, beginning at 9 a.m., we'll see the Lindenwood Lions take on the Northwest Missouri State University Bearcats. The 12:30 game, Missouri Western playing Emporia State. The 4 o'clock, Central Oklahoma, Missouri Southern, and the nightcap, Central Missouri against Pittsburgh State. Final score, 5-4. The Gorillas beat the Hornets. Pittsburgh State scored their 5 runs on 7 hits. They committed 1 error, left 7 on base. Meanwhile, the Hornets scored their 4 runs on 6 hits. They committed 4 errors. They also left 7 on base. So, for the rest of our MIAA Network crew, I have been Shelby White. Thank you for joining us all day today for this first day of MIAA Baseball Championship. Tune in tomorrow. We will see you then. I've been Shelby White. Have a great night, folks.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.